During a recent interview with this newscast, former head of the Environmental Protection Agency, Dr. Vincent Adams, flagged Exxon Mobil for its alleged continuous violation of the Environmental Impact Assessment, which dictates safety measures to be employed during oil and gas operations. The petroleum engineer also accused the EPA of breaching the Environmental Protection Act, Chapter 2005, by allowing the oil company to flare billions of toxic gases, which poses environmental risks.
They're supposed to use a small part, like maybe, 6 million cubic feet or so, for energy on the FPSO. And that's it. They're not supposed to flare anything. But right now, it's very suspicious.
However, EPA head Kemraj Parashram made it pellucid that the EPA has a zero-tolerance policy for routine flaring. According to Parashram, the environmental permit for the Liza Phase 1 required the re-injection of gas to avoid air pollution.
If you allow it to go like that's venting, then that you're polluting, you're allowing the gases to flow in the air, right? So to burn it reduces the impacts from the venting. But of course, flaring also has its impacts, right? So we keep an eye on that.
Parashram said that the adjustment of the Liza Phase 1 environmental permit included a $30 fee for flaring, which eventually increased to $50. This figure, however, is subjected to increase, the EPA head noted. The change of the permit was in strict accordance with Guyana's legislation due to the frequent flaring activities by Exxon Mobil, the EPA head divulged. This was eventually rectified due to technical issues with the flash gas compressor, Parashram added. Parashram noted that while the oil company is required to submit a report on flaring activities, the EPA too has the necessary technology to examine flaring activities using satellite imagery.
In terms of our monitoring and keeping our eye, they report to us, right? And you'll see that in there. What are they flaring and the time and whenever they flare on a real-time basis. So if they flare, they have to notify us, but we also have a feed on the volume that is flared. We have an independent system using satellite imagery that shows us immediately when a flare happens out there.
Concerns have been raised over the company's inability to provide full liability coverage in case of an oil spill by Exxon Mobil, that is the parent company, and its subsidiary, Esso Exploration and Production Gas Limited, EEPGL. When asked about this, the EPA head had this to say.
They have full liability as required by the Act and required by the permit. They provided to us, and I've said it in the media before, they provided insurance to us. We also required a parent guarantee, and they provided that to us, a draft. It's just that we have not agreed on the terms. The EPA said to them, do an analysis, an estimate of the reasonable, credible cost of a worst-case spill.
The current EPA head has contended that the oil company cannot hoodwink the agency, as it has the requisite technology to monitor oil and gas activities both off and onshore. Parashram reasoned that while Dr. Vincent Adams is entitled to his opinions, it must be factual. Anthonio Dey reporting for the AGP Nightly News.